Good morning, folks. Welcome to week number 2 of Interpersonal Communications Online for summer of 2014. I am recording this video on Monday morning, June 9th. Hopefully you had a great first week that gave you kind of a basic orientation to our class. I hope that you had a chance to kind of poke around and explore and are feeling fairly comfortable with the different elements of our course. If you are not, or if you have questions, folks, please do let me know right away. This is such a short semester, remembering that during the summer we take a regular 16-week semester and we condense it down to 8 weeks, so it goes really fast. So if you do have any questions or you're confused about something, please do send me an email right away. I'd much rather know if you're struggling or have questions right away, simply because it goes so fast. If you wait a couple of weeks, we'll be halfway through the semester already. So please let me know if you're struggling in any way. The other thing is, because it is such a short summer semester, and we all get busy in the summer, we're outside and we're enjoying the gorgeous Minnesota weather, please do keep track of our due dates. And again, I really do recommend that you take our semester schedule and post it somewhere that you're going to see it every day. It's just a great reminder. Hey, I've got discussion postings due on Wednesday. I have quizzes due on Friday. I have a paper due next Wednesday. And if you see it kind of on a daily basis, you have a much better chance of keeping up on our due dates. So please do that and do watch those due dates and assignments. Remember, my policy is that I don't take late work unless it's an emergency situation and you've contacted me and you've got some documentation. And I don't do that to be mean or harsh, folks. I just do it to be fair to everyone. If I give one student an extra, week to do a paper, I have to be really fair and be consistent. And I have to say, okay, everybody's papers are due on the same time, unless it is an emergency. And emergencies happen, folks. Life gets crazy. Things happen. Kids get sick. You get sick. Car accidents happen. So I certainly do understand those. Just let me know right away if something like that happens. And then just know that I probably am going to ask for some sort of documentation. Again, not because I trust you, I don't trust you, or I'm just trying to be mean. I just have to be consistent. I have 90 of you this semester, so I'm very, very blessed and excited to have all 90 of you enrolled in online communications. But that does mean that I have a lot of you, and I do have to be fair across the board with all of my students. So that said, here we go on to week number 2. What you're seeing is just our course homepage. I do have a list of everything that you'll need to accomplish this week. We are going to be reading and studying over Chapter 1, which is Introduction to IPC. Chapter 1 is a great introduction. It gives you some foundational information. It goes through kind of the way that the model of communication has developed over history, and that's what your discussion posting is over, where you kind of compare and contrast the 3 basic models that have evolved through the history of interpersonal communications. So chapter 1 is really good. It talks about, it defines what interpersonal is. It shows you the model. It talks about communication competence. It talks about ethics, folks, which is a really important area to look at as well. What are your own kind of ethical standards or your moral compass when it comes to communication? And then chapter 2 really kind of jumps in with both feet and starts to talk about perception. This is one of my favorite chapters because I think it's just fascinating to understand how we think, the way that we perceive things and see things and experience things, how we think everybody else is having that same experience when in reality they're not. We all, because of our own past experiences, our needs, our wants, our desires, we all see things and perceive things differently. So I think this is a great chapter to kind of get you started on understanding why interpersonal communication can be so challenging, because you are communicating with folks who are seeing and experiencing things differently than you are. So great chapter, fantastic chapter that you're going to need to really understand so that you can do our first paper, which is due next Wednesday, and that is your perception interview. That is due next Wednesday, June 18th. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. So for this week, first of all, you're doing step number 1 because you're watching and listening to our YouTube video. You're going to need to read chapters 1 and 2 do use the Cengage website for the learning tools. It really is an amazing website. There are more tools out there than you will probably ever use, so I kind of want you to play around, figure out which ones you really like. There are practice quizzes, there are flashcards with vocabulary, there are study games. I personally really like the flashcards and the study games. I found those to be really helpful. There's video examples, there's an audio review, there's just a lot out there. So if you will take the time to kind of poke around, explore, try different things out, I think you really will find this website to be extremely helpful. This is the website that you do need your access code for. That was in the front part of your book. So once you input your access code, you will have access to all these wonderful online tools. Wednesday, your first discussion posting is due. Do follow the grading rubric requirements. It's located under content. It's located under chapter 1, and I'll talk more about and show you that in just a minute. You do need to respond to at least 2 classmates as well by Wednesday at 11:59. Each response needs to be 50 to 75 words in length. And then by Friday, your first 2 quizzes are due, chapter 1 and chapter 2, quiz 1 and 2. Just note that there are 13 multiple choice true-false questions that you're going to be answering, but you do only have 20 minutes to answer each question. And I do just want to give you just a little quick kind of insight into my philosophy here on quizzing. I don't give you only 20 minutes to be mean or a tough teacher or a tough grader. I do it because I do know that when if you only have 13 minutes and I give you, let's say I give you 45 minutes, what will happen, folks, and this isn't a slam or a criticism, because I would do this too if I was a student. If I had 45 minutes, I would look up each of those answers in my textbook. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to read, understand, and really truly immerse yourself in the material so that you have that material in your head. And the reason for that is as you are going about your daily life, as you are having conversations with your coworkers, or you're having conversations with your boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, wife, or your children, or your friends, I want you to know that material. I want that material to be inside your head. If you're having a conversation with a coworker, you're not going to stop and say, well, let me go look this up in my textbook. You need to have that toolbox of communication skills in your head and have easy access to it. So that's why I want you to know the material. And really, truly, my goal for you this semester is to build a toolbox of communication tools that you have at your ready. And so when you do find yourself in a new situation, a new communication event, or a new type of conversation, that you have that toolbox and you can look through those tools and say, okay, what theory did I learn about this summer? What skill did I learn about that I can pull from my toolbox in order to make myself a more competent communicator? How can I make this relationship better using these tools so that I can improve my communication? So again, I don't give you 20 minutes to be mean or to be a super tough grader. I do it because I really want you to learn and use this material every day in your communication. So there's a little bit of a long way about explaining my philosophy on quizzing. If you do go over that 20 minutes, your score is going to be 0. So please do watch your timer closely and make sure that you save and submit your answers under that 20 minutes. I do have on the very bottom of our schedule reminders just a quick reminder or just an update that next Wednesday, June 18th, your first paper is due, and that's your perception interview or your perception assignment. So please do, if you want to get an early start on it, I highly encourage that. The directions are under the content, under unit number 3. So please do take a look at that. And then if you want to send me a rough draft, email me a rough draft of your paper. More than happy to take a look at that and then email you back some feedback and comments. So please do get an early start if you want to. Truly, folks, that really is the only way I would go through a summer class, is to kind of work ahead. That way you're not so stressed about due dates, because the due dates come quickly. We pretty much every week this semester we have 2 due dates, a Wednesday and a Friday due date. So Please do get an early start if that works for your schedule. Okay, before I wrap up our video, I am just going to jump back over under course materials here, under content, and just kind of help you understand where everything is located. Here is unit number 1, chapter 1, just kind of so you know what's here. Here is our checklist for things that are due this week. So please do kind of go through there and make sure that you're completing everything. As we go down the screen here, you see chapter 1 PowerPoint slides are located right here. Here are some online quiz taking tips. These folks actually came from other students. They said this is how they did well on the quizzes. So those are tips from your other classmates. Here is the grading rubric for discussions. If you already uploaded your discussion for your discussion posting number 1, and after you read the discussion rubric and you realize, gosh, maybe I didn't include the 3 to 4 definitions that Michelle wants, or maybe I didn't, relate it to my own experience as the grading rubric calls for, feel free to upload a revised discussion posting. Just mark it revised so I know that that's the one that you want me to grade. Here's the discussion posting assignment, so you can kind of take a peek at it. And what I'm really having you do here is compare and contrast the 3 models that we learn about in Chapter 1, the linear, interactive, and transactional model, and then you're answering these 2 questions. And then here is your link to Chapter 1 quizzes, so you'll want to make sure that you take that quiz. I do have a bunch of optional activities. Most of them are video links, some of them are internet links. I encourage you to explore these as well. These are the links or the activities that I use in my lecture classes. So these are not requirements, they're just there to kind of enhance your learning experience. Some of them are pretty funny, and I think they're pretty entertaining, so please do check them out. This is an article that I find really interesting. It relates back to Chapter 1 in that it talks about top skills for what they're looking for for what employers are looking for in the workplace. So it's really kind of interesting to see how high communication comes in on that top 10 list. So that's Chapter 1. If we click back over here under content under Chapter 2, you will see I don't have a checklist underneath here because Chapter 2 is everything is covered under the week number 2 checklist. But again, here we see a bunch of activities for you. We see I do have a thing here on how to upload documents. If you've not ever uploaded a document into the Dropbox, I do have that. Here's the PowerPoint slides again. Here's the quiz again, and then here are the optional activities for Chapter 2. Some really good stuff here. I really recommend, if you've not done optical illusions and you want to understand how your brain processes perception, this is a great one to check out. It's a website that has just multiple optical illusions for you to check out. So there you go, folks. Again, we're working under Unit 1 and Unit 2 this week. Unit 1, though, does have all of the kind of the checklist and all of that in it. So if you want to use that kind of as your guideline for getting things done, that's kind of a great place to start. Keep working on your chapters, keep your reading. If you have any questions or any concerns, please do send me an email right away. I really do want to kind of be your partner as we move through this learning experience this summer. So please engage me, ask me questions. There is no question that is stupid or dumb, and that's what I am here for. So please do reach out to me if you're struggling at all. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy our true Minnesota summer that seems like it's finally arrived here with the warm weather. So enjoy your week. Have fun. Explore. And let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, folks.